You got the right guy to start the show off with. ProCap Financial Chairman, CEO, Anthony Pompliano. All right, Anthony, first of all, let me start with this. You posted on X this morning about inflation. You said it doesn't matter what the jobs report is, the Fed should aggressively start cutting interest rates. Let's start there. What's the premise behind that thinking?
Well, the biggest challenge right now is deflation, not inflation. And so if you look at what's happening is the U.S. economy is being swallowed by three major forces: tariffs, artificial intelligence, and robotics. And you see that in the real-time inflation metrics. These things are crashing. And so I believe that the American people are going to ask the Fed and the government to print money and to drop interest rates aggressively, because if we do not, we risk a deflationary spiral. And so, yes, the jobs report obviously is something that people are going to pay attention to. But overall, we are seeing prices come down. Rent is down for 32 months in a row. We are seeing food come down. We're seeing gas come down. And AI is replacing jobs at a faster pace than anyone thought. And so we can ignore it, and we can look at data that's coming from the BLS, who doesn't know how to count, or we can go ahead and we can take a look at the real-time metrics, which are telling us deflation is coming.
Right. Trueflation is another good source. You know, what's interesting with that is that Smoot-Hawley, everyone kept talking Smoot-Hawley, and I was out there screaming, right, guys, if you look at history, that was the greatest deflationary period in history, not inflationary period in history. All right, so let's talk about Bitcoin. Bottom line, everyone knew or knows the value proposition. This is why you own Bitcoin. The question, though, is it still the same value proposition considering the way it's been acting lately?
What I think is going to happen here is we're going to get deflationary type forces in the short term. People are going to go and they're going to ask to print money and to drop interest rates. When they do that, we are going to devalue the currency, but the currency is going to be devalued at a time where that deflation kind of covers up the impact. And so I call it a monetary slingshot. We're going to print a bunch of money to try to deal with deflation. And all of a sudden, as we come out of that thing, now we're going to see that the currency has been devalued and Bitcoin becomes more valuable than ever. So I think Bitcoin and gold are great long-term things. I think the challenge for Bitcoin investors, can you hold an asset when there is not high inflation in your face on a day-to-day basis? Can you still believe in what Bitcoin's value proposition is, which is it's a finite supply asset. If they print money, Bitcoin is going higher over the long run.
So here's the thing, though. Last month saw an amazing spike in Google searches for debasement. Everyone's interested in the topic now. Obviously, it's benefited gold, it benefited silver, and many are saying this was it. This was sort of like the old movie Sunset Boulevard. Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. Well, Bitcoin wasn't ready for its close-up. What do you tell people on why gold rocketed, but Bitcoin hasn't?
Well, I think that gold is being bought not because of a debasement trade. I think that gold's being bought by foreign central banks that are saying, look, we don't want dollars, but we also don't want yen or yuan or euros or pesos or anything else. They are trying to get away from fiat currencies in general. So they're buying gold. They're not ready to buy Bitcoin. They don't like Bitcoin. They don't think Bitcoin is a solution to their problem. Individuals, though, are buying Bitcoin because they believe in, one, debasement over the long run, and two, because they think that inflation could have been a problem. That is why Bitcoin ran up during the summer of last year, is people were talking about, is inflation coming because of the tariffs?
Right.
As soon as all of a sudden we realize it's not coming, well, do you need to put a ton of your money into Bitcoin if deflation is the bigger risk? And so I think that's where you see the cooling off of Bitcoin. But as most Bitcoiners know, if you liked it at 126,000, you should love it at 70,000.
There's no doubt if you've been in Bitcoin for even a couple of years, you understand that these are sort of periodically you get these kind of pullbacks. Almost every year is either the number one asset or the last asset, right? But having said that, some are saying, well, maybe it's been a proxy for things like technology and software. Those stocks are under a lot of pressure. Or some are saying maybe fiat currency isn't as bad as you think or we're hearing. In part, if you look at the demand for stocks, demand for commodities, that maybe fiat currency will hold in there longer than people thought for a long time.
I understand why they do it, but it doesn't mean we gotta like it. And there are 50% of Americans who are having their hard-earned savings every single year devalued away. It is a silent theft on their economic value. And so I don't think that fiat currency isn't bad all of a sudden. It is definitely bad. It's hurting a lot of people. Now, if you look around this room, there are more people here at this conference than we've ever had before. And so yes, the price is down, but there are still a ton of people who are very excited about this asset and they believe that it has a bright future. And now, if you notice, there's not that many hoodies. There's a lot of suits and ties, though. The institutions are here. They've got a lot of money, and they're pouring it into Bitcoin.
So I picked up on three things. The crowd, not a lot of hoodies, but the calmness.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I do a lot of investor conferences, and when the stock market is down, you feel it when you walk in the room. This is a room full of calm, cool, and collected people. Is it because the conviction is still greater than ever?
Well, if you go back to the global financial crisis, stocks sold off 50%, and literally people thought the world was ending.
Right.
Bitcoin has sold off 50% or more every 18 months for a decade. These people are used to this, and so we're only down 50-ish% or so.
Right.
This is nothing. This
Right.
is like a drawdown for ants
Right.
for these people.
Right.
And so maybe if we go down to 80%, they would get a little nervous, but 50% is just kind of all in a day's work, and I think that's why you see the calmness in so many people.
And also, you put on a hell of a show, my man.
I
Good stuff.
appreciate you. We got a good-looking guy like you here. It must be good.
Good stuff, Anthony.